everyone! Welcome back to C2 Novel and Vocab Week 19. Hello, my name is Miss Kimberly, and the goal of our session is to have students understand each word in our vocabulary workbook and be cognizant of some phrases from our novel that may be difficult for us to understand, and I'll be here to help you through it all. If you've already watched my videos, go ahead and skip to the first word, but if this is your first video, stay and listen. So today's agenda, we'll first go over week 19 vocabulary, then we will go over extra example sentences. In our next video, we'll go over difficult phrases from our novel, and after both videos, you will have to review and self-study. But why are we doing this? This is to help with your vocabulary acquisition. By learning the definition, the synonym, antonym, and the part of speech of a word, this can significantly improve your reading comprehension and enhance your contextual usage. Basically, meaning you're going to keep putting words in your word bank in your brain, and then you'll be able to understand our books better. Next, you'll go over extra example sentences, and this is to help with your writing variation. By looking at a variety of example sentences with one specific vocabulary word, you can learn how to use the word in different sentence structures and make your writing a lot more interesting. So, please get your vocabulary book if you don't already, and turn to week 19. And let's start off with our first word. Everybody ready? First word. Repeat after me and say combine. Combine. The synonym is unite and the antonym is divide. The part of speech is a verb and it means to cause two or more things to be together or to work together. So we're putting it together, uniting, we're combining it. In our TED Talks it says, this appliance saves space because it combines the functions of a microwave and a traditional oven. So what did they do? They combined the functions, how a microwave works and how an oven works, into one little appliance. Next, let's read the example sentence together. Ready? 1, 2, 3. The team members decided to combine their efforts to win the championships. Meaning everyone tried their best and they combined all their hard work in order to win first place. Please don't forget to write your example sentence in the box for your homework. Let's look over here. It says, you should combine healthy eating with exercise to stay fit. The next one says, the chef decided to combine the pasta with a creamy sauce for dinner. So we're combining it. We're adding it all together. Delicious. Next one, number 2. Everyone say extraneous. Extraneous. The synonym is irrelevant and the antonym is crucial. The part of speech is an adjective and it means not directly connected with or related to something. So a little bit of extra, not needed. That's how I like to remember because it has the word extra in the beginning. In our TED Talks it says, only pack what you will need during the trip. Don't include any extraneous items. So don't pack like your doll because you don't really need it, right? Or don't pack all of your pillows because there will be pillows there. Example, let's read together. It says, Ms. Day reminds us to focus on relevant points and avoid extraneous comments. So meaning the teacher says we need to focus. Don't try to talk about other little topics that are off topic. I hope you read with me. Now let's look over here. It says he ignored the extraneous noise in the background and focused on his homework. So he was trying to silence all of the extra noises that he was hearing and instead just focus. The next sentence, it says the editor asked to cut out the extraneous parts of the article to make it shorter. So at MI we always say write longer, add more details. But here in this sentence, it's saying cut it out. We don't need all those because it's extraneous. It's not really connected to it. Number 3, everyone say debt. Debt. The part of speech is a noun, and it means something, especially money, that is owed to someone else. So you have to give it back to them. In our book, it says, I got a loan for my large and expensive house. I lost my job, so now I'm worried about repaying this debt. So they got all this money from the bank, but now they lost their job and they don't have money anymore, so they don't know how they're going to pay back the money. So to pay back the debt. Example sentence, let's read together. The man spent more than he earned, so he has a huge debt of $1 million. Oh, that's a lot. Meaning, you keep spending money on maybe on your credit card, and it's not money that you have. So it ends up being debt, money that you owe back. Here, it says the family worked together to reduce their debt and save for the future. So maybe they combined all of their income and their money that they got so that they could get out of it. Next one, it says, after borrowing money from his friend, he promised to pay back his debt by the weekend. So maybe I was like, oh, can I borrow $10? And then he says, okay, but you have to pay back on the weekend. So I paid back my debt on the weekend. Number 4, everyone say multifunctional. Multifunctional. The synonym is multi-purpose, and it is an adjective. It means having several different uses. We can use it for a lot of different things. In our book, it says, this space is multifunctional. I use it as a garage and a music studio. So it's not just a place to store items, but also a place to play some guitar. Example, let's read together. This printer is multifunctional and can print, scan, and send faxes. Ooh, M.I. also has a very multifunctional printer in the little room that can do all of those things too. Here, it says, she bought a multifunctional cooking pot that can bake, steam, and fry food. Whoa, that must be some very heavy-duty pot. Next one, it says, his phone is so multifunctional that he doesn't need a computer. Oh, it's becoming this, isn't it? A lot of people have pads that they don't need an actual computer anymore. It's very multifunctional. Now, let's move on to our novel words. And these are words from the one and only Ivan. Number 5, the word is nectarine. Nectarine, yummy. It is a noun, and it means a sweet fruit that is like a peach, but with a smooth skin. So a peach is a bit fuzzy, right? But a nectarine is very smooth. I'm sure in Korean you call nectarine the same as you do a peach, but I'm not quite sure on that. In the book it says, all I'm thinking is how the late day sun reminds me of a ripe nectarine. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. The juicy, ripe nectarine was a delicious addition to my breakfast. Yum. So here's just saying we're eating this nectarine for breakfast and it was a good addition. This here one, the first sentence is saying that the bright sun, the yellow and orange of the sun, looks like a nectarine. Down here, it says the farmer sold fresh nectarines at the market during the summer. All this nectarine talk is making me hungry. Next one, it says he sliced the nectarine and added it to his yogurt for breakfast. Oh, that's a very good idea. Maybe I should do that tomorrow. Number 6, everyone say conveniently. Conveniently. The synonym is readily, and it is an adverb. It means in a way that fits well with particular needs, activities, and plans. So it kind of just fits in nicely. It's very easy for us. So if you know the word convenient is an adjective, or convenience, this one is the adverb, conveniently. In our book it says, we are conveniently located off I-95 with shows at 2, 4, and 7, 365 days a year. I-95 here is what we call a highway, a road that we drive. So it's located off that highway. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The store organizes products conveniently for customers to easily find things. Yes, so we'll have all the cookies in one section, all the chips in one section, maybe all the pasta in one section. It's all placed out conveniently. Let's look here. It says, the bus stop was conveniently located right in front of the school. So what does that mean? It fits well with the particular need of going to school because the stop is right by the school. The next one says, the instructions were conveniently printed on the side of the box for easy reference. So when you buy like a box of, I don't know, pasta or macaroni and cheese, it'll have the directions on the side. And it's there conveniently because as we're, making the pasta, we can look at it and be like, okay, so that's what I need to do next. Conveniently. Number 7, everyone say domain. Domain. The synonym is a territory. It's a noun and it means the land that a ruler or a government controls. In this case, it just means the home, the territory. In our book, it says, my domain is at one end of the ring. I live here because I am too much gorilla and not enough human. So saying his area, where he lives. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. The forest is part of the king's domain, so he has control over it. So that is the land that king owns. Over here it says, the dragon lived in a cave deep within its domain in the mountains. So what does that mean? The dragon lives within the mountains. Next one, it says, maps from that time showed the domain of each ruler. So right now, our maps are by country, right? It tells us, South Korea is here, America's over here. But a long time ago, maps had domains. So this is where this king ruled, and this is where this king ruled. Very different. Number 8, everyone say unkept. Unkept. The synonym is disheveled, and the antonym is tidy, which is clean. So what does this word mean? It's an adjective and it means not neat or cared for, meaning super dirty, no one really cleaned up after themselves. In a book, it says, an angry animal with fierce eyes and unkept hair, meaning the hair was like this. That animal is supposed to be me, but the artist made a mistake. I am never angry. Oh my goodness, my hair. So unkempt means super messy. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. After months of neglect, the unkept garden looked like a complete mess. So maybe in the garden there were many weeds and bushes and maybe shovels and dirt everywhere. It was not clean and it was not taken care of. Over here, it says the garden was unkept with weeds growing everywhere. Oh, that's kind of similar to the sentence above, or what I just said. So let's move on to the next one. It says, his desk was so unkept that he couldn't find his homework. So imagine you're at your desk and you're trying to do your homework, but you don't even know where your homework is because your desk is so dirty. That's a sign for us to start cleaning. We don't want to have an unkept desk. Number 9, everyone say ebony. Ebony. The synonym is black and the antonym is ivory, which is a shade of white but beige but kind of in the middle. So what does that mean? It's an adjective and ebony is very dark or black in color. In our book it says, I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. So crimson flower would mean like a dark red flower color, and here an ebony bird would mean a black bird was coming by. Let's read the example together. The ebony piano in the corner of the ballroom is mainly used during parties. So it's just another word for saying something that is black. Over here it says, the cat's fur was smooth and ebony as the night sky. So it was so dark, it was like the night sky. Next one says, they admired the ebony sculpture that stood in the center of the museum. Very beautiful. Let's go to the next page, number 10. The word is dwell on. Dwell on. The synonym is ponder, to think. And this is a phrasal verb. It means to keep thinking or talking about something, especially something bad or unpleasant. So we're just keep thinking about it. We can't get our minds off of it. We're like dwelling on it. In our book it says, I tried not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are no more of you. So our character had a hard time. Next one, it says, she said not to dwell. Oh, we have to read together. 1, 2, 3. She said not to dwell on my mistakes since thinking about them is not helpful. So say that we made a mistake and we're like, oh, why did I make that mistake? Oh, why did I do that? That mistake is so bad. And you just keep thinking about it. That's dwelling on it. We shouldn't do that. It's not going to help anything. Here it says the coach advised the team not to dwell on their loss and to prepare for the next game. So instead of saying, oh, why did we lose? Why did that happen? Instead of dwelling on that, they should just focus on the next game and how to do better next time. Next one, it says, it's hard not to dwell on what could have been, but focusing on the present is better. Kind of like the same one as our sentence before. Just don't think about it. Don't dwell on things. Number 11, everyone say pedestal. Pedestal. The synonym is base, and the part of speech is a noun. It means a supporting structure or piece. So if you see in the picture above, the blue thing, the blue boxes at the bottom, those are pedestals, something you step on in order to, see higher or stand up taller. We don't know. In our book, it says, Stella had to balance on a pedestal for her most difficult trick. So imagine a pedestal like a little step, and the elephant, or Stella is an elephant if you did not read yet. Stella had to balance on it. And it's very hard for a big elephant to balance on one little pedestal. Let's read the example together. The woman who won first place stood on the highest pedestal with her trophy. So she had her trophy. She's like, oh, on her pedestal. As you can see here in this picture. Let's look down here. It says, I need to step on a pedestal to reach the items in the top cabinet. So maybe in your kitchen, you can't reach the top shelf, so you have to step on a step. But instead of saying step on a step, because it sounds repetitive, we can say step on a pedestal. Next one, it says the statue stood proudly on a marble pedestal in the middle of the park. So the beautiful statue was standing there on the pedestal. Number 12, everyone say undaunted. Undaunted. The synonym is unfazed, and antonym is frightened. It's an adjective and it means unafraid to continue doing or trying something, or trying even though there are problems. So we're not afraid to do it. We're just going to try it, even though there may be some problems or challenges on the way. In the book it says, I am a wild beast, my friend, untamed and undaunted. Meaning that they're not afraid of anything. They are a wild beast. Example, 1, 2, 3. The captain of the ship was undaunted, so he continued to sail through the storm. So he wasn't scared, and even though there was a storm there, he said, I'm going to keep going. Here, it says the firefighters were undaunted as they rushed into the burning building. Yes, imagine if we had firefighters who are always scared to go into a burning building. Then they wouldn't be able to save anyone. But here they are undaunted. They're unfazed, unafraid. Next one, it says the undaunted explorer traveled through dangerous jungles to discover new lands. Again, so it's another word for saying brave or unfazed or unafraid. Number 13, everyone say excel. 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 I just imagine like a rocket going up. Excel. It means to surpass, and the antonym is fail. It is a verb and it means to be extremely good at something and better than others. That's why I think about a rocket, because a rocket goes better than everyone else. In a book it says, I am sure I would excel at homework. I'm sure all of you excel at your homework as well. That's why you're watching this video. Let's read the example together. 1, 2, 3. She worked hard to excel in her studies and achieve her goals. So she worked really hard to do very well. Here it says he practiced every day so he could excel at playing the piano. And so it's just playing ding, 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 ding. He went and became very good at it. Next one, it says athletes who excel at their sport often spend hours training. Yes, usually athletes are not just born with their athleticism and their sportsmanship, but they have to practice in order to excel. And number 14, our last word for our novel is digestion. Everyone say digestion. It is a noun that means the process by which food is broken down after it is eaten. So we eat it, and what happens in our body? Digestion. In the book it says, he says their scent upsets his digestion. If you know me, milk upsets my digestion, so I cannot eat or drink milk. Next one, example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. Proper nutrition is important for good digestion and overall health. So you have to eat very well. You have to eat your fruits, your vegetables, your meats, and everything so that you have proper nutrition. Here, it says drinking water helps with digestion, especially after a big meal. So it's kind of like when you eat a lot, you should drink water so that it washes it all down, helps with the digestion, okay? Next one, another thing about eating, because this is digestion, it says eating too quickly can make digestion harder for your body. So please, when you're eating, slow down. You don't want to and gobble all your food. You have to slow down so it helps with your digestion, okay? Now, let's move on to our textbook words, everyone. Number 15, the word is skyline. Everyone say skyline. It is a noun and it means the outline of something such as buildings of a city against the sky. So here, this outline here, this is our skyline. Very pretty. In the book it says, in the window, the stacked packages of powdered intam made a perfect miniature skyline. So it made like a skyline, a beautiful skyline of the different buildings. Next example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. I have a great view of the city's skyline at night from my apartment. So yes, if you can see like the skyline of Busan City with the bridge, it's very beautiful. Or usually I like the skyline of New York City. It's very awesome. Let's look here. It says, the city's skyline was beautiful at sunset with the buildings glowing orange because, you know, it reflects off from what the sun is. So it's very beautiful. Next one, it says, tourists often visit this spot to take pictures of the famous skyline. And it happens everywhere we go. We can take pictures over in New York. It happens in Chicago, in LA, everywhere. Next one, number 16, everyone say inspect. Inspect. The synonym is examine and the antonym is overlook. And it's a verb and it means to look at something carefully in order to check its quality or condition. So we're not just going to, you know, let it pass by, but inspect means to really look at it. In our book it says, mothers picked up vegetables to carefully inspect their leaves and roots, or gently squeezed round sweet melons. So they're going to look at the leaves and the roots. Next one, let's read together. Example 1, 2, 3. He carefully inspects the factory to make sure everything is up to standard. So maybe he'll go around and see that the machines are working well, it's clean, and everyone is wearing their safety goggles. Here, it says, airport security officers always inspect passengers' luggage carefully. Yes, when you go to the airport, they don't just say, oh, 10 bags? Okay, go ahead. They have to inspect it through security. Next one, it says, before buying the car, my dad wanted to inspect the engine. So instead of just buying it, he wanted to pop it open and look at the engine and inspect it. And number 17, stammer. Stammer. The synonym is stutter. I'm trying to be funny here. The word is stammer and the synonym is stutter. It is a verb and it means to speak with involuntary breaks and pauses, meaning you don't mean to pause and take a break, but it just happens. That's why I said stammer. In her book it says, hello, Cooper stammered, blushing. 안녕하세요, he added quietly. Hey, Miss Kimberly, no speaking Korean, yellow card. Sorry. But I had to, it says it here. Example, let's read together. 1, 2, 3. She knew she would stammer and be unable to speak clearly. Oh no, then we just need to practice. It's okay. Here it says, I didn't mean to do it, he stammered, looking guilty. Next one, it says, he stammered while presenting a speech in front of his class. So maybe he didn't practice enough for the speech competition or his just presentation in class, and so he stammered a bit, which is often a sign of being a bit of nervous or anxious about presenting. But as long as you practice,